This is Irvin Griffin. And me, just like everybody else, has made more than a few videos about this Jeannie Ma and young Jeezy situation. And most of the videos I've watched have been a little biased, one way or the other. They've been biased either to Jeannie Ma, or they've been biased the other way to young Jeezy against Jeannie Ma. Me, I look at this right down the middle. And let me say, this is, no matter whose side you're on, this is an unfortunate situation, no matter how you look at it. It's a very unfortunate situation. And let me also say this right here. I don't think neither side it really has clean hands, if I had to be perfectly honest. On one hand, you have Jeannie Ma, who basically has been, at the very minimum, suspect. I'll stop short of calling her racist, but at the very least, she's suspect. Especially after that comment where she said, white meat keeps me lean and mean, black meat on the side, or dark meat on the side. That has not aged well. And plus, how she pretty much, the way she used to talk to her ex-man, Freddie, whatever his name is, the way she used to talk about and reportedly talk to, there were some things she needed to work on. She was with that man for 10 years. And no wonder, if the stories are true about her temper, no wonder he let loose when asked about Jeannie Ma's relationship to Jeezy, saying that he's glad he upgraded from trash. Although, to be fair, he was no saint himself. I mean, considering that the woman that he's now married to, he went and got her pregnant before the divorce was even finalized from Jeannie Ma. That says a little bit about you, sir. Just saying. But anyway, I hear these stories about her cheating on Mario Lopez, which I did make a video on. Let me say for the record, I personally don't believe that rumor. Yeah, while it is true Mario Lopez in his day was a bit of a player, I don't think that's the case now. I don't think that's the case at all. And I don't think that was the case there. I think what it was for her part is probably not only her temper, but her traditional values. In Asian culture, and this goes on in the Hispanic culture too, you don't leave family behind. You take care of your family. Which doesn't go over too well in American culture. And from what I understand, Jeannie Ma's mama and brother were living with her and Jeezy in the marital house. Now, me personally, moms is one thing. There's been some cases. My mother had to take care of her mom prior to her passing years ago. It's one thing when they can't take care of themselves. That's one thing. But if they're able-bodied, they should be on their own. Especially a sibling. Moms is one thing. But a sibling, unless he's disabled mentally or physically or something, they should be on their own. That culture doesn't jive too well with American culture. And that's what she was dealing with. In both the case of Jeezy and her previous husband. She was dealing with American men. And on the other hand, you have young Jeezy, who isn't exactly a saint here either. He has a history of walking out on women, especially women that he's been intimate with and made children with. He has a history of walking out. What it sounds like to me is when the situation doesn't work out for him in his favor or to his liking, he tends to dip. which indicates to me this man is a very, I won't say narcissistic, but definitely a very selfish person. Very selfish. And the fact that he sprung this divorce, a couple of things that stuck out to me. The fact that he sprung this divorce days ahead of time, out of the blue, without notifying his wife or anything. That was a little bit suspect to me there. But then I read about how the prenuptial agreement, which I think everybody should have a prenuptial agreement, but it should be signed weeks, if not months, beforehand. He had her sign a prenuptial agreement at least 2 days before the wedding. That's a little suspect to me. Prenuptial agreements, just like marriage, are not something to be entered into lightly. And from it sounds like to me, it sounds like these two had issues that should have been hashed out and should have been discussed well ahead of time. And they got together either right before or during the COVID pandemic. And in my mind, that's probably where this relationship should have stayed. It should have been a casual relationship. And I'm looking at it from an outsider's point of view. I don't know neither one of these people. Sounds like it should have been a casual relationship where they were just casual friends. I would dare say even, and I'm not here to discuss morality or anything as far as, sexual behavior, but at best it probably should have been friends with benefits. Just make sure you use some protection or something. But at best, if they just wanted to get their on, it should have been just friends with benefits. At best. But as far as being a relationship, a lot of these things, Jeannie Ma should have vetted her man better. Or her ex-man, or soon-to-be ex-man. On the other hand, young Jeezy should have checked her out a lot longer. And the worst part of this to me is you now have a 1-year-old involved, Monaco. Beautiful child. Beautiful. But now you have a 1-year-old involved that did not ask to be here and certainly didn't ask for all this drama. You now have that situation. To me, that's the thing I'm most concerned about, is the little kid. Because she didn't ask to be here, like I said. That's going to be the big problem. Big, huge problem, in my opinion. And I just hope they do the right thing by that child. But to me, both of them, neither one of them got clean hands here, in my opinion. This is things that should have been discussed. She definitely doesn't have clean hands because, let's be honest, if she treated her white husband like this, if she treated him like this reportedly, and you kind of saw hints of it when she was on The Real, the way she talked about him, a way he was his Mitch, which is kind of a male term for the B word. If she will treat a white guy like that on national television, what do you think she was saying to a black dude? Although, to be honest, young Jeezy, to give credit, he's much higher status than he was, or even her. So she might have watched herself a little bit when it came to him. But you can only imagine if she treats a white guy like that. You can only imagine what she was saying to a black dude. On the other hand, Jeezy has a history of walking out on women. I mean, there's been like 2 or 3, I hate using this term, but I'm going to use it here. He has 2 or 3 baby mamas, and he's walked out on all of them. I don't know what made Jeannie Ma think just because he married her that he wouldn't do the same to her. I mean, those were red flags, and those are things that should have been discussed before they discussed even being with each other seriously. Now, let me say for the record, I wasn't one of those black dudes that hated on him because she was Vietnamese, Asian, and he was black. I wasn't one of them dudes that ain't gonna say, oh, you should have stuck with the black girl, this, that. Look, he could have the same problems with a black woman, okay? Woman's a woman at the basic end of the day. Yeah, there might be some cultural differences and stuff that should have been discussed. That's why I always say when it comes to interracial dating and interracial relationships, you better have these talks. You better have these talks before you go any further. Otherwise, you need to go your separate ways or keep it casual, or at worst, like I said, friends with benefits. Not promoting it, just stating facts. People do get horny. As long as you're alive and you breathe air, there's maybe 1% of the population that's asexual. I'd say about 90 to 95% of the population gets horny in some way, whether they straight, gay, or they play for both teams. But this is the type of stuff that should be discussed. This is what should be discussed, really, in any relationship, even if you're the same culture, the same race. But definitely with a mixed race relationship, you better discuss this stuff. But yeah, Jeannie Ma should have vetted him a lot better before getting entangled with him. And like I said, you got a not even a 2-year-old child involved in mess that they shouldn't be involved in. That's my biggest concern though out of all this. That's my honest take. There's nobody with clean hands here. There's nobody with clean hands. But anyway, tell me what you think down in the comment section. If you like what I do, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm Irvin Griffin. I'm out. You have a nice day, folks.